everybody, and welcome in to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, always joined by my co-host over there, Aaron. You can find him anywhere. If you want to find us here, you want to tweet to us, anything like that, find him at Brutally Honest Sports over there. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to find the guy, you can find him out there. Aaron, how we doing? I don't know. It's a Friday, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend of sports that we got coming up here.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of being pity party over here still with the Phillies going. Like, damn, like October baseball there's nothing like it to me. Like I'll take it over any postseason of any sport, and when your team's not in it, it is a gut punch to say the least. But like I said, life goes on. I'm tired of this. Like next year. Like I'm done with that. So we're gonna enjoy it for what it is right now. Who's left. We're gonna enjoy the NFL, college football. Still have a lot going on. So, like I said, I'm a little bit dampened right now, but we'll push on. We'll persevere, and still, like I said, a lot to look forward to.
I feel you. It's every year with the Brewers. At some point, I just know it's gonna come. This magical ride that we're on is gonna come to an end, and I just have to accept it. It's just the fate that it is. Only one team can win it all. That's what I always try to tell myself. Only one team can win it all, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be my Brewers. It's going to happen. I got that feeling. One of these years, the Brewers will get over that little hill, and they'll end up in the World Series. I just got that feeling. I'm really, I want to have that feeling, I guess I'm saying. I really want to have that feeling. Man. So it's fall, right? It's fall. I have a question. I don't know which one was worse. I was thinking about it today because I was dealing with both. And I don't know which part is worse. The fact of the constant up and down temperature changes throughout the day, like you start out cold, then it's hot in the afternoon, that constant change there, or the ladybugs. Because ladybugs are absolutely, they irritate the crap out of me, and they smell like crap when you kill them. It's like worse than a fly. So which is worse? Constant change of temperature or ladybugs? Which makes fall worse?
Can I raise you a third option? Because this is like
I love a third option. I never
right, and this is like one of my least favorite things ever in the world is when it gets dark early. Like that will drive me up a wall. That and it does. Like, we're sitting here in Pennsylvania. It's 6:45 p.m. I mean, it's pitch dark, and I'm like, man, oh day, that sucks. Like we're not trying to make this a negative start to the. I mean, I sound as negative as can be already, but it's like. 5:35, pushing 6:00. It's getting dark. It's getting chilly. I can deal with the chilliness. It came on quick here. I don't know about you guys over there, but snap your fingers. It's cold. Like it's not cold, but it's chilly. Like, and I know we're in October now. I should expect it, but it just seemed like it was hot, and now just chilly. Just boom, like flip the switch. The sun goes down. It's chilly. So. I will rage we don't have a ladybug issue, maybe, or an infestation or whatever, however you say it, maybe to the level of Wisconsin. So that kind of like doesn't take precedent for me. I'm trying to think the temperature change. Yeah, I don't know. I am. Truth be told, I do like the hot weather, but I don't really live in the best place for that anyway. But I will rage you that. Getting dark early, it could get chilly. I can weather that storm. I can deal with it. But when it gets dark early and it's chilly and it's like 5:00, I'm like, okay, this is a little infuriating for me. But
I got to agree on that. I got to agree. Getting dark earlier has got to be a problem too. So, I mean, you raised me a third. I like that third one. Make sure everybody in the comments, you're getting in on tonight's show there. Make sure you're letting us know what you think about anything we talk about. Talk to us about the NFL, NBA, whatever you want to talk about. You let us know in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts on everything Wisconsin sports or outside of Wisconsin, because we're in to talk about it all here tonight. So let's get to the weekend. We got a big weekend of college sports. We got a lot of ranked matchups this weekend. It's going to be exciting. I want to get to the Badgers right away. I want to look at the Badgers Rutgers matchup coming up this weekend here. And, the biggest thing that I was thinking about, and I heard a lot of people talking about it this week, about that Badger. They had that big win, right? They go and they blow the doors off Purdue, and you love that as a Badger fan. You're like, okay, but now you set this, I don't know, thinking in Badger fans where you're kind of in the middle zone right now of where this Badger team is, right? You have the early season games against Western Michigan and South Dakota. Not impressive wins, but you win those games. Then you play Alabama, who you hung with for a little while. I mean, I'm not going to say that you didn't get knocked in that game. Alabama ended up beating the crap out of them. But early on in that game, the Badgers were doing things in that game where it was like, this is going to be a solid game, right? You felt good about it at least. Then Alabama ends up running them out of the building, and that's history's history. USC had the lead at the half. You were up big in that game. It felt like you were going to win that ball game. USC comes back, wins that game. Then you play Purdue. You completely demolish Purdue. So where is this Badger team, right? That's the biggest question that I'm having right now as a Badger fan is, where are we? I don't think we're as bad as, or just a little bit better than Western Michigan and South Dakota. I don't think we're as good as Alabama, but you try to find where this team is at, like on a gauge, and it seems like they're trending in the right direction, right? Last game, it seems like they're trending in that way now. This game against Rutgers, for me, is going to tell me a lot. You're going on the road. You're playing a tough Rutgers team who has played some impressive football this year. I know a lot of people don't put Rutgers and football in the same sentence too often. That's not something you do, but this is still a solid team in Rutgers. So now this is a measuring stick, I think, for Wisconsin. You come off a blowout win against Purdue. You're traveling to Rutgers now. What do they show us in this game against a talented Rutgers team that makes you think to yourself, man, okay, this Badger team has some potential. It's not all lost, right? We got to remember. I mean, I'm the biggest for this. Is where I overreact. I love overreaction. Coming off the weekend, love to overreact about losses and stuff like that. And I've overreacted about this Badger team. If they can find a way to travel to Rutgers, pull out a win there, you're sitting at what, 4-2? You're 4-2 on the season now. That's not a bad start. Now you got to get yourself to bowl eligibility, and you got some tough games left on the schedule with Oregon and Penn State, Iowa, and Nebraska left. But you got to find a way now to beat these teams that you should beat. So this game against Rutgers, definitely going to be a big one for this Badger team. And you look at Rutgers offensively on the season. They're a team that is actually very similar to Wisconsin. They run a lot of shotgun. They don't really go under center. Wisconsin is known. I don't know why we're known for it again, because it doesn't work out for us too often. They're on 4th and 1s. We try to run out of shotgun. But Rutgers, they don't run a lot under center. It's a shotgun. We're going to try to beat you through the air. We're going to try to beat you around the edge. That's what this team loves to do. So they're a team that loves it out of the shotgun there. The defense for Wisconsin is going to have their hands full in this one, because running back for Rutgers there, Kyle Monangai, that's as close as I can get saying his name correctly there. Fantastic back there, power back, can burst through a hole. He is, watching some of the film on him from their last game out, I believe they just got done with the game against Nebraska where they lost 14-7 there. It was a tight one versus Nebraska, but they have a solid run game with him there. I mean, this is a tough team to defend. Also, Ethan Kalikanis. These are some rough names. Some of these guys in college football, they have some rough names. I'm going to stick with I'm going to know these guys on a first name basis, so I don't have to say their last name there. But he has the ability to make plays out of the pocket. He's got the ability to get out, make a throw on the run. The biggest thing that I saw with him is when you do get him on the run, when you do collapse the pocket, make him try to make a throw while moving with the football, he tends to make bad decisions. He had an interception against Nebraska there where he was moving out to his left. He decided to try to fit one into a tight window. They ended up picking him off. Big interception for Nebraska there as Rutgers was driving. So getting pressure on him, which is something Wisconsin has struggled with this year, is that front for Wisconsin has struggled to make pressure, get pressure. The defensive line has been the problem. Find a way to put pressure on Rutgers in this game, make him stay in the pocket, make him stay true, and make him try to make plays from there. Collapse that pocket, maybe walk away with a couple sacks there. Let your corners, your safeties, everything like that make the plays in this game here. Aaron, you seen anything out of Rutgers? I mean, just looking at them stat-wise, any of those players kind of stand out to you on that team?
I'm not going to say a player completely stands out to me personally, but I mean, collectively they play pretty well. I mean, I was kind of checking down the statistics on the year. Defensively, I know the last couple of years defensively they've gotten a lot better. So I mean, they're 18th in the country in points per opponent's points per game. Can't seem to get the cat out of my throat tonight with the I can't even pronounce opponent's points per game. So that's a problem with its own right there. But yeah, I mean, offensively, they don't like blow you out of the water. Defensively, they're pretty solid. I mean, opponents' yards per game, they're 44th in the nation. I mean, that's not like groundbreaking numbers, but not like terrible at the same rate. Greg Schiano, I do like I like him. I wouldn't say I love him as a head coach, but I think Rutgers was good under him when he was there quite a few years back. Like at least respectable, I should say. He usually puts a team on the field that's respectable, that, plays hard, that type of thing. So not that Rutgers is like an extremely hostile environment that Wisconsin's got to go into. So at least there's that. It's not like they're going into the big house or something like that, where you have to be aware of a crowd factor being, a major factor in the game. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said this is a measuring stick. I mean, the spread's set at, I keep seeing it at 1.5. So it's very close. Like, obviously they think this is going to be a nail biter of a game, which, I mean, that's what you love to see. So yeah, I mean, like you said, measuring stick is a great way to look at this. You hope to come out with a win on the road in a Big Ten, like no matter who it is. It's conference play. It's not like you said, you're not playing a South Dakota. You're not playing a Western Michigan. Like, this is going to be a bigger test than that, just because of, strength of skill. Like, this is a more respectable opponent. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you hope if you're Wisconsin, you can get rolling on offense early. You can kind of get in the rhythm, and you kind of limit Rutgers on the ground. Like you said, Rutgers with the running game seems to be more so their strength. But yeah, I mean, this is a winnable game. This is not like you're not going into this like, oh, we have no shot,
Yep. Yeah, no, 100% agree. And, you mentioned the head coach there. He's kind of like a Matt Rule with Nebraska there. He's not an over-the-top fan. Like, he's not Nick Saban. He's not one of those guys, but he's a guy who can motivate players. He's a guy who can get guys in the right mindset going into a game. And that's sometimes all you need in a program to try and turn that thing around. And that's what he's trying to do there with Rutgers right now, is just turn that program around. And he's doing a fantastic job at the moment so far here. And, you mentioned Rutgers there on the defensive side of the ball. Rutgers on the offensive side of the ball, they're 10th in the Big Ten in third down efficiency on the year. So it's going to be huge. They are not very good on third down. They're not very good at all. The Badgers have to find a way to get off the field on third down. Don't let them convert. The biggest problem, it's the hardest thing to do sometimes, is get off the field on third down. You find a way to slow them down first and second down, to get third down. They make a big chunk gain there. You got to find a way to get off the field on third down. And this game, if it's going to come down to a nail biter, penalties will be big in this game. Wisconsin ranks third to last in the Big Ten in penalties with 21. Rutgers has 20. So there is not a lot going on between those two teams getting penalized on the year, both playing clean football, which is what you love to see. So in this game here, it might come down to who gets penalized 4 times in the game. That might be who loses this game versus a team that gets penalized 3 times. So it's something you got to watch out for there. But, I mean, you mentioned the defense there. I mean, looking at them, giving up 334 yards per game, not solid, not over the top great defensively is Rutgers, but they have playmakers on that defensive side. Demir, who was I just looking at there? Daryl Diajampo. I don't even know how to say his last name there. That's a wild one. Leads him in tackles, linebacker there. He's all over the place. Got a sack on the year already. He's all over the place. Great in pass defense too. So you got to watch out for him on that defensive side of the ball. They have a couple different playmakers there in that secondary. So this Rutgers team definitely has been solid, and they're only allowing about 15 points per game. Only allowing 15 points per game. Now they had their out of conference games and stuff like that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the best team they've played so far is Nebraska. Well, they did beat Washington. So you're looking at a win against Washington there. I mean, Washington just got off a game where they beat Michigan. So there's kind of your measuring stick of Rutgers. But before that, you had a game against Howard, a game against Akron. Virginia Tech's not a very good football program right now. So you have a couple of bigger games on that docket there, that what Rutgers has played so far. Outside of that, this is going to be a measuring stick too for Rutgers right now, because you just came off of a loss against Nebraska, 14-7 there. How do you bounce back if you're Rutgers in this game, trying to beat this Badger team? I mean, this is going to be, I believe this is going to be a good game. I really do. I think this is going to be a good game right here. It's going to come down to what can the Badgers offense do in this game. Braden Locke especially, right? He's coming off one of the best performances by a Wisconsin quarterback in years. What's his encore, right? He's got to have an encore performance now. What does he show us in this game against Rutgers? Is it like a step forward from what we saw? What we saw in that, after those 2 interceptions against Purdue, what we saw after that, because if it's what we saw after that, this could be a great game for Wisconsin against Rutgers. Now, if it's a little bit more of the same, a little bit of a struggle, confidence is an issue. Okay, now it takes you back. Now maybe you have to rely on the run game, which will be big in this game because Tyree Walker has had a fantastic season for the Badgers. So getting him involved in this is going to be huge. The offensive line for the Badgers has played well all season long. Try to avoid putting Braden Locke under pressure. This is a team in Rutgers who doesn't get to the quarterback very often here. They don't have a lot of sacks on the year. They don't have a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So getting that offensive line has got to give Braden Locke the time. Give him the time in this one. Let him make the throws that we know he can make. We saw him make some throws against Purdue there. Let him make the throws in this game here. Control time of possession. That's a big key I got in this one. Controlling the time of possession. Get your offense flowing. No 3 and outs on the offensive side. You can have 3 and outs. I'm not saying you can't have any throughout the game there, but find a way, right? Don't come onto the field. The defense gets a turnover or something. Offense comes trotting out there and 3 and out. And then the defense is right back on the field. Reward the defense. Help them out. Help them get some air on this sideline there. Keep the offense on the field. Try to extend drives. Make things happen there. Control the time of possession in this game. Like teams have been doing to you, control the time of possession in this game here. And get pressure on the quarterback there for Rutgers. Find a way to put pressure on him in this game. Try to make him force some balls in there at Hallman or whoever it is on the defensive side in the secondary. Try to force him to make some bad throws in this game here. And I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good game. I think the Badgers will come out on top in this one. I'm gonna take the Badgers. I don't think it's gonna be high scoring. Give me 24-17. Wisconsin goes to Rutgers and wins that game. What do you got, Aaron?
I can't say I'm as bullish on your Badger, only because I see, with Rutgers with the Washington win, sitting there at 4-1. I just don't know if I trust. My whole thing this year has been, do I trust the Wisconsin offense? And I don't. So I know after last week, I should probably be more convinced, but it was pretty. Is it a combination of Purdue is awful and Wisconsin played well? Sure. I can get, but I do think, unfortunately for your sake, that Rutgers does win this game. I'm going to say it is close, though. I mean, Vegas is saying that it's going to be a 2-point game. I'll say it'll be a 3-point game. I'll say Rutgers 27, Wisconsin 24.
I could live with that. I could live with that bold take right there.
But I'll pull for your bat. I mean, why not? Right? I'm not a Rutgers guy. I don't mind Rutgers. I have no, both those, like Wisconsin, Rutgers, I have no hatred. Like, there's no disdain for either one. So there you go.
Sometimes I think that my hatred, not hatred, I don't want to say hate. It's such a mean way to say it. My hatred, my bad feelings towards other teams sometimes does come from success and comes from, I don't like their head coach it's so hard to hate on a Rutgers team because they don't do anything to me. Like they don't knock me out of a tournament, or they don't knock me out of Big Ten contention usually, right? It's just, Ohio State does it to me. Michigan does it to me. I think that, is that the same for you? Like, do you get more I dislike Michigan because somehow, some way, they always find a way to beat my Penn State Nittany Lions. Is it like that one of those things in there?
Well, the thing with that is, like, we used to own Michigan, till Michigan got, these last couple of years, Michigan never was really it was a close game. It was always a game. It was always a battle, but we didn't have extreme difficulty. Like when Michigan came to Penn State, I was like, we got them. Like, I'm not worried about them. Like, it was always Ohio State has I'm trying to compare it to somebody in the end. It would be like the Patriots back in the day playing the Bills. Like, it's like the Bills are never going to beat the Patriots. Like, it would never happen. Like the Tom Brady era, you look at that, like the dominance of the Patriots versus the Bills when Tom Brady was in New England. Like, the Bills never had a shot, basically. It was like once in a blue moon. That's how I feel about Penn State, Ohio State. But like the hatred, yeah, I mean, it's weird. I don't even hate on the Cowboys as much as I probably should, because I know what they're going to do. Like, I know they're going to fall apart, and it's more so like the Yankees, right? The Yankees, I have extreme hate for. They have the most World Series. Their fans are, nonstop telling you about it. They never go away. They're in the postseason every single year, no matter what happens, it seems like. So, yeah, I mean, it's harder to hate on like a Rutgers or even like a Wisconsin, Northwestern, like those. It's really the only time I'll hate on a team like that is if I see their fan base going. And I guess I shouldn't. I'm kind of talking out two sides of my mouth because like Philadelphia fans are kind of the worst for that. But it's like when you like the 49ers fans started chirping like crazy when they beat or when the Eagles beat them because of the injuries and this and that. And ever since then, I've had a disdain for them because like they whine about everything. So it's like Wisconsin, Rutgers, like you said, I don't really. There's no hatred there. Now, there are a lot of Maryland fans I know, and they always tell me Penn State's going to lose like every week. So part of me wants to root against Maryland just because it's like you guys try and stick it to me all the time, and it's like you guys aren't winning, ripping off wins like we are. But it's yeah. I mean, do I hate Rutgers? No. I mean, even if Wisconsin went undefeated next year and beat Ohio State and beat Penn State, whatever, I would be like, okay, like maybe it's their time. Like it's hard to hate on a team that isn't that front running team. It's like, okay, they found something, they have something now. Cause like the Ohio State is so easy to hate on. And like, yes, part of it's jealousy, but I really just don't, there's nothing about Ohio State I like. So
this is true. It does come down to fan bases too. Fan base is like, I don't like the Cubs. I don't like the Cubs players either, but like the fans, man, those Cub fans do it different to me. And then you got Ohio State fans. I don't like Ryan Day. I don't like Ryan Day either. I never have liked Ryan Day. I didn't really have a huge problem with Jim Harbaugh. I guess a lot of people do now because of the scandal and everything. I never had a huge problem with Jim Harbaugh before he was at Michigan, and then that kind of went south for me there. Urban Meyer wasn't bad. Urban Meyer wasn't bad. He was bad when he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but before that, he wasn't bad. I mean, he was a good college football coach. So, end of the day, like I always remember that clip. What was it? He was in a press conference and they talked about the Oregon game that was going on. I think it was in the playoffs, and Oregon had just smashed somebody. And he goes, Oregon won by 40. Well, and he gets up. He's like, I got to go get ready for this. And he's like, starts to walk off. Like that's the kind of cool stuff out of a coach you'll see there. And I never had a problem with him. But yeah, definitely fan bases and coaches will definitely lead to dislike of a program too. So I completely agree there. And well, for some people, it's success. Success of a program definitely does. Purdue in basketball. I just didn't like Zach Edey. Outside of that, I didn't dislike Purdue, but I dislike sometimes the way that certain teams play the game or they approach the game, right? So that definitely does it in there. So we're talking about other teams right now. Let's look at the rest of the college football slate for this weekend because holy crap, this is going to be a big weekend for college sports here. We got a lot of big ranked matchups. Friday, so tonight here, 9:30. I love the West Coast kicks because always the 9:30 start and stuff like that. We see Utah and Arizona State squaring off there on ESPN. Then tomorrow starts the docket of big games. Alabama starts it off at 11 there against South Carolina, Clemson and Wake Forest. Then we see number 21 Missouri taking on Massachusetts. Nobody really cares. Now we get to the big games. Now we get to the big dances there. We got Texas and Oklahoma, number 1 versus number 18. The Red River rivalry has been renewed there between Texas and Oklahoma. Aaron, who do we got in that one? Texas, Oklahoma.
If it feels like there's going to be an upset, doesn't this feel like this is definitely possible? Like it's a rivalry game. It's in Oklahoma, hostile environment. I mean, Booner Sooner. I don't know if I want to pick Oklahoma. I mean, I could, right? But this does smell like this is like not a trap game because it's still like a ranked opponent, obviously 18th in the country. But the Red River rivalry, like you said, that can go any which way. And like, would I be shocked if Oklahoma pulls it off? No, I wouldn't. I would not be shocked. And like Texas has all the, like they're the number 1 team. You have all the pressure in the world on you. You expect to go in there and dominate, and that might not happen. So yeah, that's always a good one, and both teams are good. So that'll be a favorable matchup for really either team. Like you can look at that 2 different ways.
That should be the spread's at 15 for Texas right now. Holy crap. I did not see that one coming. But should be a good one. Quinn Ewers is back for Texas too. So Arch Manning will not be getting to start. Quinn Ewers will be under center for Texas in that one, at least to start. That's as far as we know right now, at least to start in that one. We will see Quinn Ewers back for Texas there. So should be a good one there. Next up, we got your Penn State Nittany Lions taking on USC. talk about it a little bit. What do you see in that one there? It's going to be a 2:30 kick there on CBS. So a little bit of afternoon action there, but at USC, Penn State on the road. What do you got in that one?
Yeah, I'm definitely nervous. I mean, I know USC's 3-2. Dropping that shocker to Minnesota, that was just still blows my mind that they lost that game. But I don't love that that gives them a ton of fuel for this game. I mean, if USC drops to 3-3, that'll be just kind of strange after the way the way they started. Everybody's picking them to go all the way. I mean, a couple weeks ago they were the team. I mean, Penn State sitting there at 4th in the nation. I can't hate that at all. It's also kind of hard to believe too, but yeah, this is a huge test. Like I said, I don't care that USC's unranked. I don't care that they're 3-2. That offense can put up points with the best of them. When they're clicking. So it's a far trip, right? You go all the way from central Pennsylvania to Southern California. That's one of the furthest trips you're going to take in college football. I'm definitely nervous. I mean, I hope Penn State can pull this out. I keep going back and forth in my mind on if they will. I'm trying to see. I'm sure they're picked to win just based on
3.5. ESPN,
yeah, 3.5. Yeah, it seems about right. Yeah, it's. I hope the defense travels well because that's like, I don't know what's more of my concern because the offense tends to not show up in big games in the past. And then the defense is, definitely going to be tested to the fullest with that USC offense at times. So, yeah, this is what you see with this expanded Big Ten now. I mean, it's just one of those matchups that you're going to tune in to see. Oh, how does this former SEC team match up with Penn State? This is kind of a revenge game. I mean, in sorts for the Rose Bowl. Quite a few years ago when Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley and them all came up a little bit short there to the guy with fire hair, right? Sam Darnold. Another reason for me not to like Sam Darnold. But, yeah, I mean, he went out there and balled out. He did his thing. He threw the ball for like 6,000 yards and like 1,500 touchdowns that game. So give credit where credit's due. But it's, yeah, it'll be cool. I mean, I rarely see this team go to the West Coast in general, so it'll be different. But I'm nervous. I don't know how to feel right now. I really don't know how to feel.
There's a blueprint to beat USC. Minnesota, Wisconsin, they kind of gave blueprints how to hang and beat USC. So hopefully Penn State paid attention to that. Penn State's got a good defense to work with too. I mean, you look at the two teams that have hung with USC so far, and then you look at Penn State. I would say Penn State's a little bit ahead of those two teams, but should be a good one. I think it's going to be a good one too out there. I'm going to give it to Penn State to win that matchup. And I saw Joel Klatt talking about it a little bit. He said there is a route that we could see number 1 Ohio State against number 2 Penn State. And he said, things got to happen, right? Texas has got to lose. This is going to be their one shot for them to lose here against Oklahoma. And then you're going to see Oregon and Penn State, or not Oregon and Penn State, Oregon and Ohio State squaring off. We're going to get to that one in a minute here. But Ohio State wins that game. Penn State would jump up. Ohio State would jump up. We could be talking about number 1 versus number 2, Penn State, Ohio State in Happy Valley. That would be a heck of a matchup right there. So hopefully, maybe we get that. Maybe we get there, Aaron. We'll see on that one, though. So
yeah.
Next up, we got number 11, Notre Dame, taking on Stanford. That game is going to be at Notre Dame. I'm going to take Notre Dame. Stanford will hang for a little bit there, but Notre Dame's going to be too much for them.
Yeah, especially Notre Dame dropping, what was that game to, I know it was a MAC opponent, Northern Illinois. Yeah, Northern Illinois. So this is definitely a game they need to get bound, just continue to stack some wins here because that was an unexpected loss. We've kind of shot a little bit of I don't know, not displeasure at Notre Dame, but we've said Notre Dame has done this before where they'll drop a game to a team that you don't expect. So, I mean, if you're Notre Dame, you want to silence the critics and the criticism, stuff like that. Just go out there, play your game. They're the better team. They should win. So, just prove it, really. I mean, just go out there and do it.
And the big thing for Notre Dame in this one, there is some teams out there who could afford other losses throughout the year, right? With 2 losses, you could see an Alabama team get in the playoffs and stuff like that. Notre Dame with 2 losses, if they lose this game somehow, some way, you have Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and then USC left on the docket. There's not a lot of games to make up ground there to make the committee say you deserve to be a part of that 12-team playoff. So Notre Dame needs to win these games here. So should be a tough test for them there with Stanford there. And we got Dustin in the chat there. Hey, Dustin. Got Dustin in the chat there. Make sure we say hey to him here quick. Knight, thank you for joining in to the show tonight there. What do we got next up there? Pitt and Cal. That game is going to be at Pitt, number 22 Pittsburgh, 5-0. I mean, they're 5-0 to start this year here. Not what a lot of people would have expected, but great to see a team like Pitt finding their way up near the top there. So what do we got there? I'm going to take Pitt. They're favored by 3.5. I'm going to take Pitt to win that one. Cal coming off of a close loss to Miami, though, last week.
Yeah, I think that's going to play into their psyche a little bit just because, like, they had that game was winnable for them at home. College game day was out. Like, you just had everything kind of going in your favor. And for the, the fact they dropped that game, like, not to say they should have won, they're probably not the better team there, but you had everything in your grasp to win that game and you let it slip. So, and then I'm big on like traveling cross country and getting away. Like, I think that's underrated because we haven't seen that in college football so much. And now with these expanded conferences, like Cal has to come all the way out to Pitt. He says sneaky good. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they play in a powerhouse of competition wise, but I still think, they're you ride the hot hand here, and I trust Pitt to just get the win. I mean, let me tell you this, Trajan, Cubs fans might be bad. Pitt fans are like Pitt University fans are something else. They will forever tell you that they have a better college football experience and college football atmosphere at Heinz. Well, it's not even Heinz Field. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers field. They will tell you that's a better college football atmosphere than Happy Valley, which they are smoking something illegal. I'll tell you that right now. They are on some serious, not even prescribed medication, stuff that, will knock you out. But I got to at least throw some shade there. But because those people on Twitter are just, they will never give that up. But I'm not a Pitt hater. It's just it's funny. They definitely love to hate on Penn State. They live to hate on Penn State. But yeah, credit to them. Number 22 team in the nation. It's I don't think we've seen Pitt ranked in a little bit of time. So, I mean, good on them. I mean, they beat their rival earlier in the year, West Virginia. They beat UNC just last week. So, yeah, I mean, they're rolling along there.
If you were to ask me where would I rather go, to Pitt to play or Penn State to play, and you told me there was a whiteout happening at Penn State, I would tell you I'd rather go. I don't even care. I'd rather travel to Hawaii. I don't even care. Like, there's no way you could get me to go play in Happy Valley during a whiteout. Like, that is just ridiculous times to be at Penn State there. So
I'm not even saying that from a bias. I'm not even saying that from a biased fan. It's like, come on, man. Like that would be like, oh, where's harder to play, Ohio State or South Dakota State? It's like, okay, there's no comparison. Like
Ohio State during a blackout, because they had a blackout once when the Badgers went there. Oh man, was that sketchy? That was like sketchy. Like it was just like the field was the only thing lit and everything else was dark to the outside there. And you're like, that would be, you're walking through a tunnel. Like, that's all that you're doing right now. It's just a gauntlet of Ohio. Well, Wisconsin got completely mangled. It was like 24-0 within the first 2 minutes of the game. And I was like, well, anything's better than this. Let's watch Shark Tank. So yeah, I can shut that game off pretty fast there. So we got Pitt, Cal. Let's move on. We got Illinois and Purdue. That's going to be happening 2:30 on FS1. Give me Illinois. I don't even think there's a chance in as wild as last weekend was in college sports, I don't even think there's a way that Purdue hangs with Illinois.
No, definitely not. I mean, Illinois losing that game. I mean, they played Penn State pretty tough. They played Penn State into the fourth quarter. To their credit, I mean, Illinois is a solid program there. And they're coming off that, they lose that game to Penn State. They get the bye week, and now they at home versus a Purdue team that, your Wisconsin Badgers just absolutely annihilated. I'd look for more of the same here. I think Illinois is going to come out like a bat out of hell, in this game. Like, they're going to run out of the tunnel and punch Purdue. And like Purdue is, as much as I don't feel bad for, like, you got to line up and play, but like Purdue has a rough go at it right now because, like, Wisconsin punched them in the mouth, and now Illinois is coming off a bye week after a loss, their first loss of the year to Penn State. Like, they there's no way they lose this game, right? There's no way that they at home come out of that. I mean, they're going to be just ready to hit that field and prove to everybody, they're still a solid team. They're still ranked 23 in the nation. So yeah, no way in God's green earth that Purdue comes out of this with a win.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. Dustin says that everyone needs to experience a whiteout at Beaver Stadium. Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech is out. I got to agree with that. Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech. Like, that is the coolest. When I can't remember what game it was. I think they were playing Clemson. They were probably playing Clemson. And they came out at night and, like, they're walking through all those hallways and, like, tunnels and everything to get in there. And you heard Enter Sandman in the background. Like, that was the coolest intro video I think I've ever. Like, if you were trying to do a sales pitch to come to a university, that's the only thing I have to play. That's all I have to play. I would show that on the big screen. I'd be like, what else do I got to tell you? And I'd be like, sign me up. Like, where do I sign? Dotted line? All right, I'm coming. Like, that was the coolest thing I've seen. So I got to agree there with that Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech. Like, jump around at Camp Randall's awesome. Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech was pretty sweet to watch too. So
let me ask you, I don't want to get too long, but does Wisconsin never comes out to jump around, right? No. I know they play at the end of it's the end of the third quarter?
Yeah.
They should incorporate some, like, a miniature jump around for, like, because entering the game, like, that is like you're like you just got testosterone just going everywhere. So
I think it'd be you want to be excited, but like, that's not, Enter Sandman's like you're about to like get murked on the field. Like, that's when I hear of Enter Sandman, like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, jump arounds, like, we're trying to get excited, we're trying to get the fans into it entering that fourth quarter. So it's like you'd have to find something different.
They need a marquee song. They need that.
They need something. They need something. Sandstorm at South Dakota with strobe lights and flashing red smoke. At South Carolina. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. There is a lot of good ones out there that college football teams do. I forget about 3/4 of these because you don't see them a lot there. But I agree. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there that we aren't even talking about right now. Let's move on here. Let's get to some of the other big matchups. We see BYU, Arizona facing off. BYU 5-0 taking on Arizona there. Georgia and Mississippi State. We got number 5 Georgia taking on Mississippi State there. I think Georgia should pull that one out there. Florida, Tennessee. Tennessee looking to bounce back after a tough loss there against Arkansas. What do we think? Do they bounce back against Florida? This one's going to be in Knoxville. They're back home. So, I mean, I see a big bounce back game here for Tennessee.
I tend to think so, but Tennessee is one of those teams, like, I'll pick and then it's like the Jaguars in the NFL. They're going to win. No, they don't win. Like, it just seems like that's one of those, like, whenever I get like bullish on a team, it's just they fall to the wayside. But yeah, I'll roll with them here. Kind of need to get back on track right now because you're still sitting there at 8th. You're in a good spot, but Florida's one of those. You're 3-2. You're just trying to get a win. Like, you're just trying to tread water at this point. 3-2 is not great. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, for that's another great college atmosphere, and like they've kind of found their way. I mean, after years of struggle after Peyton Manning, they've kind of come back in the landscape. So yeah, Tennessee should get the win.
Money helps. This day and age in college football and college sports in general, money helps to get yourself back and right the ship there. But they got some good coaching too, so that helps along the lines too. But there's little things in there too. We got the big game of the day, 6:30 start on NBC. They finally got it right. NBC Peacock's usually the Big Ten night game. They always crap the bed and they put these games at big noon. I want these matchups in prime time. We got number 2 Ohio State traveling to Eugene to take on number 3 Oregon in a Big Ten battle. This is what we signed up for. When the Big Ten expanded, this is the game that we wanted. We wanted games like these. We want marquee matchups and big programs squaring off. We got Ohio State, Oregon. The spread's at -3 for Ohio State right now. But as we know, that doesn't really mean much. That doesn't mean much at all there. I'm going to take that's tough. That's tough. That's going to be a wow. That is going to be a wow game. Give me Ohio. No, that's a dirty game. That's a dirty game right there. Give me Oregon. Give me Oregon against the spread. They're going to pull it out. they're going to find a way. They're going to pull it out. I just think after last week, Ohio State struggled in the first half against Iowa. They struggled to put the ball in the end zone. They struggled again. A pretty good Iowa defense there, but they struggled. 7-0 at the half. Give me Oregon to win this one. As Dustin says, Ohio State will pummel, and I mean absolutely pummel Oregon. Oregon hasn't looked impressive this season, and they're going to get trucked 42-17. Ohio State. Dustin, I'm taking against you here. Give me Oregon in a close game in this one in Eugene. It's going to be rocking. I think they're going to pull it out. It's going to be a gunfight. It's going to be a gunslinging battle, and I think Oregon will win this game against Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't, Dustin, I got to be honest with you. I don't see a pummel on either side of this. I mean, you never know, right? Ohio State could come out guns blazing and it could happen, but my gut tells me that they won't. Checking Ohio State's schedule, they still do finish the season at, against Michigan, which is funny. I didn't know if they'd play Penn State and Michigan again, but they do. Man, it's hard for me to pick it. Like, I trust Ohio State more. I do. I trust them to get a win more than I trust Oregon to get a win. Eugene is going to be rocking. Oregon is ranked 110th against the pass. Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like hearing that. I definitely don't. Oh, man. I got to pick against Ohio State. I mean, if there was money on the line, I might pick Ohio State just because, like I said, I trust them more. But in Eugene, 3-point spread. I mean, a 3-point spread on the road. That is a little surprising. Ohio State gets that. But I'll say it is going to be a barn burner. I'll say like 44-41 Oregon.
Oh, yeah. That. I'm telling you what, if there's going to be a game this weekend where it's like we're slinging the ball around and whoever messes up first is going to lose this game, it's going to be this one right here. I really do think. I think both these offenses are high-powered offenses who can sling it around, who can run the football. They can do just about everything. They got playmakers on both sides of the ball. Don't get me wrong. They got some defense to go along with it there. But this is going to be a matchup that is – it might be one of the best matchups of the college football year. Like, I really do think this could be one of the marquee matchups of the year there. So, Ohio State, Oregon, 6:30 start there on NBC. I can't wait to watch that game. After my Badgers completely wreck up on Rutgers, after they just wreck Rutgers, I get to watch Ohio State lose to Oregon. I don't like both teams. Like, I don't like Oregon. I don't like Ohio State. I don't like either one. So I just got to go into this one thinking, like, I don't care who wins or loses this game, but I just want to see a good football game. And that's what I think we're going to get in that one. We got one more top 25 matchup. Yeah, 6:30 start on ABC at the same time. So I'm going to be flipping back and forth between these two matchups here. We got Ole Miss taking on LSU, both coming into here with a loss. Ole Miss 5-1, LSU at 4-1 on the year. The betting line 3.5 towards Ole Miss right now. I mean, this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game. It's in Baton Rouge. It's at Tiger Stadium. Give me LSU to win that game at home, knock off Ole Miss, just completely put this Ole Miss madness to bed. Just put it to bed.
Man, you talk about – I mean, I don't dislike LSU. I dislike Brian Kelly a ton. I dislike that guy, especially after that. Like, I didn't like him before, but then that incident at Notre Dame where he sent that kid up to record practice and he ends up dying because the conditions are so bad. Like, bad guy. I'm sorry. Brian Kelly is not a good dude. Regardless who wins this game, they might not win the Big Ten. Hot take.
Interesting. Dustin thinks that hot take Indiana wins the Big Ten regular season schedule. I gotta be honest with you. You look at Indiana's schedule on the year, and there was one game that they had on there that I thought was tough. Outside of that, I thought they had I think they have a bye this week. Pretty sure Indiana's on a bye. Yeah, they're on a bye. They have Nebraska next week. But after that, they have Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue.
I don't see it.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But if Ohio State – okay, let's just hypothetical world. Let's just think hypothetical world. Ohio State's got to play Oregon. They got to play Michigan. They have to play Penn State yet, right? We got Indiana.
Michigan,
Yep. So we got Indiana, who has to play Ohio State and Michigan yet. If you beat Michigan, Ohio State loses 2 of those games, right? You want Penn State to beat them, so there's 1 loss to them. Say Oregon goes and they beat Ohio State. That's 2 losses for Ohio State. Oregon drops a game. I mean, Indiana, the way that their schedule's shaping up, it wasn't a tough schedule for Indiana, which definitely does help them out, right? They got Nebraska, but then they have Washington, Michigan State, and they have Purdue to wrap up the year. If they find a way to have the only loss on their schedule being Ohio State, they're right there. They're right there at the top. If they don't win the Big Ten title outright or the Big Ten regular season title outright, we know record wise, they could definitely tie for it. They could definitely be in a two-way tie with like Oregon or a two-way tie with Ohio State if they drop that game to Ohio State. But then, tiebreaker comes into it. You would say that Ohio State would be the number 1 team. But still, I mean, you're looking at that. There's a chance. There's a chance we're talking about Indiana at the top of the Big Ten at the end of the year and a potential college football playoff bid if they find their way into that Big Ten championship.
I just don't see them beating Michigan and Ohio State. I think they'll have 2 losses at least. Like, I know Michigan's not that great, but I think Michigan will have a field day on defense against them. It's kind of, to me, no disrespect. Indiana's having a great year, but I still think that's men among boys when you bring Michigan's defense. I don't care if it's at Indiana or not. Like, I just feel like Michigan will do enough to beat them. I don't. I mean, and I'm not. I could see them dropping a game against like a Washington. I don't. We don't know. So far, so good, right? But a lot of things can still unravel with this Indiana team this year. And I mean, yeah, credit to them. They're playing great right now. It's just I don't know if I can go as far as to say like they will win the big. I can't say that.
It's a bold take. It's a hot take.
It is. Credit where credit's due. But we can say, "Oh, Ohio State's going to win the Big Ten." Yeah, everybody's going to say that. But it's I mean, good on them. I mean, Tom Allen walks out of the door and they're playing better football. So
yeah, no, it's been a great season for Indiana. Nonetheless, if they find a way to win that game against Michigan, lose 1 game to Ohio State, you're still talking about a team who will most likely have a bid into the college football playoffs. So gotta love that there. And Kurt Signetti, I mean, is a legit head coach. I mean, James Madison, he was a great coach of James Madison. And if he does lead Indiana to a season with only 1 loss, you're talking about a guy who will be up for coach of the year. Most definitely. I mean, you can't even deny that one. If he finds a way to lead an Indiana program who hasn't been to these heights in a while to a 1-loss season in the Big Ten, and then you get to the college football playoff, and who knows? I mean, we haven't seen this format. We don't know how it's going to affect teams down the road there. You pull off a win. Maybe you find a way to beat some good powerhouse program. Okay, now you're on a run, right? Anything can happen when it comes to a tournament format there. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be an interesting end to the year there. So that's about all we got for the college football slate for the weekend there, Aaron. What do we say? Give us the fact of the day. You got a fact of the day over there. What do you got for me?
Yeah, there's a lot actually that happened on this day, but I will just limit you to one there. Surely you've heard of Saturday Night Live.
Yes. Yep.
Unless you live under a rock, you've at least heard of it, seen short clips of it. The American sketch comedy series Saturday Night Live on this date premiered on U.S. television, which that is one of the biggest that is a huge show. And countless, I mean, anybody under the sun that you can pretty much think of as far as a celebrity. I mean, athletes have hosted it. Obviously, actors, actresses, Elon Musk. I mean, you name it has hosted that. So, it's hard to believe it's been around that long, but it premiered on this date in 1975.
Is that the one? It's Michael Che and what's the other guy? Are they on Saturday Night Live? Is that the one? They make those racist jokes back at each other. I can't remember if that's the one. It's Michael Che, I thought is his name, and somebody else on there.
Do you know Andy Samberg?
Yes.
He was on Saturday Night Live. I don't know if that helps.
We don't have time for it right now, but it would be interesting to see who has been on Saturday Night Live. Like some of the crazy, you wouldn't have expected this guy to have been on Saturday Night Live. Like, can you imagine that we go back in time? Bill Belichick was on Saturday Night Live. We didn't know it, but he was. Just would not expect that kind of guy to be on there. Man, that'd be crazy. It's crazy to think that Saturday Night Live's been going for that long and that it premiered on this day. Wow.
Long time. Long
That's a
time.
heck of a fact of the day right there. That is a heck of a fact of the day right there. And we got a lot to get into. We got a lot to get into with this Packers Cardinals matchup coming up on Sunday. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for this one because this is a solid Cardinals team coming in to take on the Packers. It's going to test the Packers in a lot of different ways, especially defensively in this game. But right away, I want to get to the injury report as of today. So we got the injury report out. We have a lot of guys on there, but a lot of guys back at practice. So that's a good thing. There's actually only one guy who did not practice this week, and that was Devontae Wyatt. Everybody else was out there either limited or full practice for this one. Jair was limited. He's still questionable for Sunday. We see Jordan Morgan is questionable for Sunday. He was limited all week at practice. Aaron Mosby was full practice, full go. He's still questionable, though. And then we see Rasheed Walker questionable and Christian Watson questionable for Sunday there. We see all those guys in the injury report. I would love to get Christian Watson back on the field because the way that he went out, a lot of people were talking about how, injury prone he was. He was not going to be back for weeks on end. To get him back soon would be great. To get Christian Watson back so soon, get Jordan Love his full cast of weapons in there because Romeo Doubs is back. He's back at practice. They had a successful talk on Monday. He comes back to practice, but and I hate that there has to be a but. I hate that there has to be a but. He looks like a kid who you just stole his candy from. Like, he looks like a kid who you just took his lollipop away and he's not happy about it because he still does not seem happy. He hasn't talked to anybody. Well, he's talked to in the locker room, he's talked, right? But he hasn't talked about the situation. You look at videos of him out there, it doesn't seem like he's happy. It doesn't seem like he's happy. I don't know if it's just me, but it doesn't seem like the guy's happy. Now, we don't know. We don't know what all of a sudden caused Romeo Doubs to just, completely not show up, say that he's not getting the ball enough, because this was never it was so far from my mind that this is what was going to happen that I was at loss of words when it first broke. And now we're getting to the point where he's still not happy. You get to the situation now and you get to the game on Sunday. It's not like you can walk out there if you're Jordan Love and just say, here, Romeo, here's the ball, and just start throwing the ball at him. You can't do that. You can't force feed the guy just because he's, whining about not getting passes. So, how do you handle a situation then? How do you handle a situation? Because you would think realistically, okay, you get Watson back, you have Wicks out there, you have Reed, you have Tucker Kraft, you have Jacobs running in the backfield there. Doubs is going to get 4 to 8, maybe 4 to 8 chances in this game, maybe, right? Depending on what the Cardinals do against him. So what do you do if you're the Packers in this situation? You can't force feed him the ball, but how do you make Romeo Doubs believe again? And how do you make the players around him believe hey, we're good. We're good here. You're going to get the ball when the time comes, but for now, you just got to work within the offense. How do you instill that back into these guys?
That is tough, right? That's got to be one of the toughest things, especially for a younger guy, because this is his third year, couple games into his third year. And a lot of these guys coming out of college, they're either the number one or they're constantly told how great they are, and now you're in the NFL where it's you're just in a mix of a receiving core that, okay, this guy's good. Like you said, the Packers don't have that number one guy. They just kind of have a diversified group of guys that can make plays. So now you have to, stand out in some respects because it's whoever's going to, be open or run a good route and get themselves open. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to go out there and give me the ball. You're not Devontae Adams, you're not, it's not like you're just you haven't earned that right. Like we've said, you haven't earned anything yet in the NFL. You're a guy you're teetering on the fact that you might be here, you might not next year type of thing. So it's, at that point you just gotta hustle you gotta give your absolute all on every single play. That sounds cliche, right? I'm sure they are, but what does he say? You can't make him believe when you do what he did. You essentially no longer believe in the team. Yeah, I get that. I think you got to look at it from a bigger team perspective, because if you maximize what he can do, or you give him at least opportunities to make some type of a play, it's going to benefit everybody. As long if he's happy and then he makes a play, now he has better morale. Now he's talking to everybody else in the receiver room, or he goes to Jordan Love, hey, we can do this. Like, you don't want a guy that's this disgruntled on the sideline. Like, that's the worst thing you can have. So I think you just got to give him some opportunities. I'm not saying force opportunities to him, but insert him in the game kind of like you were before. And then he's got to make the most of the opportunity. If he doesn't make most of the opportunity, he has nobody to blame but himself. Like, and whether it's he doesn't have the skill level to compete with these other guys, that's one of those things that time will tell. But he can't just go to Matt LaFleur and say, put me in there, or Jordan Love, hey, throw me the damn ball, or whatever. Like, you can't. You have not earned any type of right to do that. So you just, if you're in there and you got a block, like anything to stand out, anything to just, okay, this guy's a team guy. Like, he has to prove now you're a team guy too. Like, you're not just give me the ball, I'll catch it. And then, like be an Antonio Brown type of guy where it's just like, it's all about me. Like, you can't have that. And like I said, he's a guy that's like disposable at this point. Like, it's not like he's a number one guy. So he's got to seize the moment this week. He's lucky to kind of be on the team still. You got to look at it from that perspective. If you're Romeo Dobbs, you can't look at it like, oh, this is unfair treatment. Like, no, you kind of gave up on the team.
And, it comes down to, like, Watson came out. He said, I think 2 days isn't going to ruin the 3 years of work, of commitment that he's put in for us. Talking about Romeo Dobbs towards the team. And he said it's definitely a little weird right away just because it was a pretty significant situation for him. But, I mean, he's roamed to us. So you look at the way Watson's talking about it. And he did go on. I can't find the comment on it, but he was talking about their family and being a family again. And, like this receiver room was so tight knit and everything like that. And what was the greatest part about that is being so tight knit is that's what led to a lot of the success last season there for the Packers, was getting this group together, getting them closer, going over to each other's houses, on off days, watching film, having, spending time together, getting to know each other, everything like that is what built this Packers team to be what it is today. So getting that back. Now, we don't want to speculate anything with Romeo Dobbs because we don't know mentally. It could be a mental health thing for him. And we don't want to speculate to the point where we're calling this guy out and saying he's the worst person in the world and everything like that. Like, we don't want to do that here. We don't want to do that. We don't know. We have no idea what happened behind closed doors. He didn't go and talk to Matt LaFleur. Somebody had to go find him. Somebody had to go find Romeo Dobbs and see what was going on. So we don't want to speculate by any means to say, like, this is what happened, because we have no idea. We have no idea what happened there. If he's not mentally in the right spot right now, okay, now you got to get, your team has to get involved. They got to say, like, hey, dude, we're here for you. We're here for you. We're your family outside of your family. So let's work together. Let's get past this. Let's get to the next one, right? Let's go win a chip. Let's go win a Super Bowl. Like, that's what we're here for. Let's go win a Super Bowl now and get him back in that right mindset. That's going to be the biggest thing, is getting him into that mindset there of, hey, you don't have to do it all for us to win. You don't have to do it all for us to go get to the playoffs, for us to win a Super Bowl. You don't have to be that guy. You don't have to be that number one guy. We would love for you to be a go-to guy at points, but you can't get to that point here. We got Dustin in the comments there. He says Dobbs is acting like he's the number one option when he would be the number 3 on most teams. And then he also goes on to say, take it from me, who was in the locker room 2 weeks ago, Dobbs is turning into a cancer, and it's not pretty. That's right. Dustin does work. I forgot where he works for. A journal around here, a newspaper around here there. So he covers the Cubs and everything like that. So, I mean, he's there too. We got to get him to call into the show here or something.
He's plugged in, man. He's plugged in.
We got to get him to call into the show one of these days here and just talk about some of the things that he gets into there in the locker rooms and stuff like that, because that'd be great. Dustin, if you're ever free, not tonight because we're running long already, we got to get to the preview here for Packers and Cardinals, but one of these nights, maybe on next Tuesday when we got our midweek report, we'll get you in. We'll get you on a phone call or something like that into the show here, and we'll talk to you about some of the stuff that you're hearing inside the locker room. We'd love to get you in there, though. So great stuff there from Dustin talking about that. I hope that's not the case, that he's not turning into this cancer. That's a problem in the locker room. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, come Sunday, we're going to see what it's like. We're going to see what the huddle looks like, what Dobbs look like, what's his emotion on the field, what's the other teammates look like towards Dobbs. We're going to see all of it come forward there on Sunday. I'm going to be tuning into that. Like, I'm going to be watching that really closely to see what's going on there. So let's get to this Packers-Cardinals matchup because I believe this could be a terrific game between the Packers and Cardinals there. So we look at what Kyler Murray's been able to do this year, and 972 yards on 94 completions so far on the year there. He's got a rating of 99. Kyler Murray's been good. Like, he's been good this year. He hasn't been great, but he's been good. I mean, you talk about Kyler Murray, he's terrific at escaping the pocket. That's the biggest thing with Kyler Murray that has sold him for years through college and everything like that. His ability to run, throw on the run, everything like that. Actually, he has 7 touchdown passes on the season. 6 of them are when he has 2.5 or more seconds to throw the ball. And then also that is on the move. So getting out of the pocket is huge for Kyler Murray, being able to extend plays, let his playmakers get down the field, do their thing, and then making that throw. So the Packers in this one, they got to find a way to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket. Don't let him get to that outside. Keep him bottled up in that pocket. Make him make throws from in there. If he does escape, that's when you got to have guys who are going to come in to clean it up there and make things happen. So, I mean, in this one, the Cardinals, Aaron, I don't know. Do you got the stats up on the Cardinals defense? Because I know the Cardinals defense is struggling this season. I know they have a very struggling defense, and I wanted to talk about that because I think a couple of keys are going to come in the offensive line for Green Bay in this one. Denying the pass rush that has struggled, and then also looking at the ability that the Cardinals have to slow down the pass game with big plays, getting after that secondary for the Cardinals, because defensively, I think they have struggled on the year. What do you got for stats on them there?
Yeah, I was trying to shoot. I'm slacking a little bit. Well, my research department over here is failing me. Hold on. I will. Here we go. Oh, that's offensive. Hold on. Points scored per game. Let's get down to the defense here. Can we find the defense?
We got the defense. It's there.
We will find it. Man, if you want to find offensive stats, it's everywhere. Okay. Wait. There we go. Points against per game, right? And it's funny. Jonathan Gannon, right, coming over from the Eagles, defensive mastermind. They want to say not a mastermind at all. Don't buy into the hype. So they're 27th in the league points against per game, giving up 25.8. So you're basically giving up 26 points per game. Yards against per game, 25th in the NFL, 360 yards per game. Passing yards against 17th. I mean, kind of middle of the pack, not horrific, not great. They're 19th in sacks. They're 28th against the run. Against the run there. Not fantastic. Not when you consider there's not that many more teams than 28, right? It's not, you're not lighting the world on fire there. And then interception, they are 9th in interceptions with 4 interceptions. So, I mean, maybe that's your silver lining, but I haven't seen the Cardinals play a lot this year. I will be honest. I've seen blips here and there, red zone, that type of thing. But I don't know. I mean, they're 2-3. Jonathan Gannon does come into an absolute dumpster. I mean, they were the worst team in football when he came in, basically. So what do you think? Like, I'm not going to say go off on a whole, like, is Jonathan Gannon doing a good job? I will say I think they play pretty hard. Like, that's, kind of a stereotype. Oh, this team plays hard. Yeah, of course they do. They're in the NFL, right? But there's teams that mail it in. Like, I see teams that just like the Browns. I mean, the Deshaun Watson walks off the field on 4th down. Like, he's like, whatever. Like, I think the Cardinals do have that, like, that factor of we will fight till the very final whistle, which I can respect that. I mean, that kind of embodies the head coach at that point. Like, to me, that the players are playing hard for their coach. So there's some respect there, but yeah, not a stellar defense. I mean, really, really not.
Well, yeah, and that's the big thing I'm looking at is their pass rush is ranked worst in football, pressure rate of 25.7%, ranking second worst in the NFL there in pressure rate. So you're talking about a defense who doesn't put pressure on the quarterback very often. So that's what I'm looking at with this offensive line then. I'm saying to myself, there is no way that Jordan Love is not playing the most comfortable game of the season in this one. He should be able to stand in the pocket. The O-line should be able to do their thing. He should be able to deliver the ball wherever he wants, whenever he wants. And like you said, I mean, they're picking teams off. So making the right throws, confidently throwing the football into spots, making that happen, right? This is a game where, like we just talked about with Romeo Doubs, he could be a factor in this one. Watson, if he's out there healthy, could be a factor. Wicks, Reed, whoever it is, they're all going to be factors in this one because of the lack of pressure that this Cardinals team can put on. And you look at the run defense. Their run defense is giving up 4.6 yards per rush and almost 150 yards per game on the season. So run defense, not great. Pass defense, not great. You got to find a way in this one to exploit both of those if you are the Packers, and that starts in the trenches. You got to be able to slow down this Cardinals defense and just make it can your defense shut down the Cardinals. Make that what your game plan is in this one. Do all your little things right. Do everything right on the offensive side. Then we look at that defensive side there. So that's going to be a big thing to look at. But on the defensive side for Green Bay in this one, I'm looking at the defense and saying, you guys just got to make tackles. You guys got to make tackles in this one. You look at that game the Cardinals had against the 49ers. James Conner forced 10 missed tackles in that game. And the team for the 49ers actually had 15 missed tackles in total on the game there. So rallying to the football in this one, making tackles when they're there, those are going to be some big keys in this one. It seems like such a simple thing in the game of football, but if you miss tackles like the 49ers did against the Cardinals, big plays can happen. When James Conner is coming out of the backfield, whether it's receiving or it's through the run game, and he's forcing 10 missed tackles on a defense, you can't have that. You can't have that if you want to win a football game. So I'm looking at this Packers defense and saying, you guys got to make tackles in this one. You guys got to find a way to slow down this Cardinals offense in that facet. I mean, that's as simple as it gets. Controlling Kyler Murray in the pocket and then making tackles when they're there and trying to limit what they can do with that run game, make them one-dimensional in this game if possible. And that comes down to two guys in this game for me. We got to see Quay Walker step up in this one, in that run game. Get in there, make a tackle, get off a block. We haven't seen it yet. Got to be something we're watching for there. And I'm watching Rashawn Gary in this one. Rashawn Gary hasn't played terrible this year. I know a lot of people are saying that this dude's the worst thing that has ever walked planet Earth. The biggest thing with Rashawn Gary and why people are so they're so lost with him right now is the fact of he's getting paid so much and not doing a lot with that. He's getting paid a lot and not making the tackles, not getting the sacks, not getting the pressure, everything like that. That's why they're putting such a microscope on him. Now that comes down to, yes, Rashawn Gary needs to perform, but also the rest of the defensive line, because once that defensive line all starts to play well, you can't just shift guys over. You can't double team Gary. You can't put, Gary in those kinds of spots. It's going to have to spread it out a little bit more, and then Gary's going to be able to do his thing. So I'm watching Rashawn Gary. I'm watching Quay Walker in this game. They definitely have to have big games for the Packers in this one for that defense to play well. And then penalties are going to be big. We talked about earlier penalties with the Badgers and Rutgers. This one is going to be big here too. Penalties for the Cardinals on the year. They have the least penalized team in the NFL. Packers are actually the fourth most penalized team in the NFL. So pre-snap penalties, everything like that, you got to clean it up if you're in Green Bay for this one, because penalties can kill you. Penalties can kill a team. They can kill a drive. They can do all that kind of stuff. So you got to be definitely all over that in this one. And then converting on third downs. Last week against the Rams, the Packers only converted 1 third down on the game there. They set themselves up in a lot of third and long situations. The 49ers, or the Cardinals against the 49ers, a little bit better. They found ways to bang, get first down, first down, get a couple yards, second down, get a couple yards. Now on third down, we're third and manageable. So Packers in this one, they got to find a way to make it third and manageable. Get yourself going on third down and make things happen. So Aaron, what else you got there? Cardinals, Packers, got anything else there on the matchup?
No, I mean, I'm not going to say this feels like a trap. I don't know. This is an interesting one, right? Like I think the Packers on paper are a superior team for sure. It's just are the Cardinals going to be able to play? Like, will they be able to get in a rhythm offensively? Like you said, is James Conner going to be able to get going? Because I mean, I saw anybody could have torched the Eagles defense last year. Literally, you and I could have scored at least a couple touchdowns against them. But like, he's a guy, at least when I saw them play each other, like he in open field, like he doesn't get a ton of love. Ever since he left Pittsburgh, it feels like he kind of fell off the map. I guess he's playing for the Cardinals. I mean, you don't really hear about anybody on the Cardinals other than Kyler Murray here and there. But yeah, I mean, this Cardinals team isn't bad. It's like, would I be shocked if they won? I wouldn't be shocked, but I look for the Packers to just kind of like you said, I mean, offensively, Jordan Love should have all day, and that would make you think he's going to get into a rhythm and kind of like he could have a 400-yard day if everything goes according to plan. So, yeah, it just the NFL is so weird though. It's like you never like this could be a close game in the fourth quarter. Like it just you never know because it's not a matchup we see often. It's just a weird one, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you're mentioning offenses there, and that's a big thing I'm looking at too with Packers. Getting some consistency in the offense again. It seems like it's so choppy. It doesn't seem right yet. So this game here against a subpar defense, what we think is a subpar defense, but you never know what's going to happen. You said the NFL, it's weird. Every given Sunday, it could change. The Packers finding a way to get some consistency on that offense from Jordan Love all the way down. I want to see it there. And Dustin says Packers have historically struggled against mobile quarterbacks. That is the biggest X factor. I agree. I really do. I think one of the biggest things that I'm looking at in this game is the Packers' ability to box up Kyler Murray in the pocket. Don't let him get outside the tackles there. Don't let him become mobile. It's going to become a lot on what can Rashawn Gary do? What can Preston Smith do? All those guys on that defensive line, Lucas Van Ness, whoever it is, controlling, containing, keeping him up the middle there. And then once you get him in the pocket for a while, making that sack, doing things there to disrupt that pass game in this one. So should be a good one there. Aaron, what are we seeing? Packers, Cardinals, what do we got for a prediction there?
I say with the subpar defense, give me Packers 37, Cardinals 31.
I like that there. Give me 31-24. Packers defense is a bend but not break defense. They're going to find a way to get a couple turnovers. Xavier McKinney's got a pick in 5 straight games, so let's make it 6, right? Pick him off again there. I think he's going to have another one. I think he is. I just think he's going to go through this entire season getting 1 interception per game. Wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be wild. That'd be wild to see something like that happen there. But I'm excited. This should be a good game. This is going to be a test on the Packers defense. Like you said, I mean, Dustin said there in the comments, controlling a mobile quarterback and keeping him to a point where he's uncomfortable in there and he can't get outside tackles there and try to make things happen there. I like the Packers. I like the Packers in this one. ESPN's giving them 5. I think it's going to be around that. I think it's going to be that 31-24 kind of 24-20 Packers. Rainy weather will play a factor in that one, says Dustin. So Dustin's picking the Packers, even though he says that they cannot control a mobile quarterback. So we like that one, Dustin. We like that one here on the show there. So Aaron, we're getting close to the end here. We're getting close to wrapping up here. We got to look at the NFL weekend real quick. We're going to fly through it because we got to get out of here. I got some high school football I got to go watch tonight. The game is going to be on here pretty soon. I got to it's only like 2 minutes away from my house, so I don't got to go very far, but I got to get down there. So we got to get the heck out of here. We're getting close to our end slot anyways. So let's fly through these NFL games real quick. We got our game over in London. We got the Jaguars taking on the Bears. Give me the Jags just because when they go overseas, they don't lose. Give me the Jaguars just because that's just how it is.
You took the words out. I literally was going to say the same thing. Jags, I pick them all the time. I pick them to do this. I pick them to do that. This week they're winning. Book it.
They got to. Overseas, they don't lose over there. That's just, if they could play every game over there plus the Super Bowl, they'd win it all. That's just how it is. So Jaguars over the Bears. We both like it there. Bears favored by 1. We already talked Packers, Cardinals. We got the Colts and the Titans facing off there. They believe Anthony Richardson's going to be back. I'm going to give me the Colts. Give me the Colts to win that one. It's going to be a close one. Give me the Colts.
I guess Will Levis is playing, right? I mean, week to week, you don't really know with this guy because he's just always banged up. Will Levis will start. Okay. His shoulder is, I guess, somewhat in place, right? So give me the Titans. Why not? Throw a little divisional game. Titans gunning for a win. I mean, they need, only 1 win on the season. Why not? Give me the Titans there.
Titans should call the Colts and get Joe Flacco. He would lead them to the playoffs. That's all I know. So Titans, Colts, that should be a good one there. Texans, Patriots, Drake May is going to get his first NFL start against a pretty good Texans defense. I'm going to take the Texans to win that one in Foxborough.
Yeah, I look for more of the same with the Texans as well. Just, C.J. Stroud, simply because they have C.J. Stroud. He's rolling. They're rolling. They're far and above the better team there. So give me the Titans or the Texans. Excuse me.
We got Texans over the Patriots there. We got Buccaneers and Saints. 3-2 Bucks taking on the 2-3 Saints. That is going to be in New Orleans. Should be a close one. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks. Baker Mayfield will lead them to a win.
No Derek Carr, still out for a couple of weeks because of that injury with the, against the Chiefs there. Man, I never like picking this team, or I'm sorry, this rivalry is tough to pick because they're usually like very comparable teams. Like they just match up extremely well. I think the Saints will be gritty in this one, even without Derek Carr. They need to bounce back, get back in the win column. So give me a little bit of an upset with the backup quarterback. I don't know if Taysom Hill will play. I have no idea who's playing, but Saints to grind it out in like a 19-16 type of ugly game.
Oh yeah. Cover the spread. They got to at least cover the spread in this one. Come on. We got the Browns and the Eagles. If the Eagles don't win this one, I don't even know.
Spencer Rattler is that? Oh, he's a Saints backup. Yeah, Spencer Rattler. Yeah, he'll grind it out.
If the Eagles don't win, the Eagles should just throw in the towel for the season there. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take the Eagles here. I mean, like you said, if they lose this game after the Phillies losing in the NLDS in the same week, Sirianni was actually at one. It's gonna get burned down. City's gonna get burned down. Sirianni's house is probably gonna get lit on fire. This is maybe not a hot take, but if they lose this game, I think there's a chance he gets fired. I really honestly, they don't usually do that midseason, but that's where the Browns are right now. Deshaun Watson does not care about football. It seems like you got to win. So I'll take Eagles. It might not be pretty, but I think the Eagles still find a way to win.
Got to find a way to win that one there. Ravens Commanders are the next game up. Give me Jaden Daniels and the Commanders to win that one in Baltimore. That is going to be the game of the season for him right there.
I keep going back and forth on this one. Commanders are red hot. 4-1. Baltimore has found a way though, winning the last 3. I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner. Like I'm looking for like 48-41 type of game. I really am. Ravens gave up a ton of points to Burrow and the Bengals last week. I think this is a game where Daniels throws a couple picks. I just have that feeling. So give me Baltimore. Unfortunately, I'm never going to hear the end of it another week, but give me the Ravens.
Ravens in that one. We got Broncos and Chargers in Denver. Bo Nix is playing well. Give me Bo Nix. I'm gonna take Bo Nix and the Broncos to win that one over the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think the Broncos, they got something right now. I think they're gonna continue to keep cooking, even though it's a divisional game. Give me the Broncos.
I like that one there. We got Steelers, Raiders in the next matchup there. The Raiders are a mess. Give me the Steelers. I'm gonna take Justin Fields and the Steelers to win that one.
I picked Pittsburgh last week to beat Dallas. I thought in Pittsburgh, I thought that was not a lock, but I thought that would be a win. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking for the Steelers to bounce back. I don't love picking them in this game because, like, I don't know. Like you said, Raiders are a mess, but Steelers offensively are challenged, I will say. So yeah, another grinded out type of game. But give me Pittsburgh there.
I like that one. Here's a rematch that the Lions have been waiting for a while now. Lions, Cowboys. That's going to be from AT&T Stadium there. The Lions are going to win that one.
Yep. Yeah, definitely the rematch game. They don't forget about that one. And Dallas is like, even when they win, it hasn't been pretty. It wasn't pretty against the Giants. Wasn't pretty against Pittsburgh. I just think Detroit's going to come in there guns blazing and find a way to win that.
I like that. Dallas can't run the football. That's the biggest thing. They cannot run the football, and that's a problem for them right now. Falcons, Panthers, our next matchup there. I'm going to take the Falcons to win that one in Charlotte.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be closer than people think for some reason. I think that's division 2, right? NFC South.
Yep.
I keep forgetting what division Carolina's in because they don't compete for it. So, I mean, give me the Falcons. Yeah.
We got the Falcons there. Next up, we have the night game. Bengals looking to get right. Can the defense finally slow down a quarterback there in Daniel Jones and the Giants? Give me the Bengals. even if the defense sucks, I don't think they can play bad enough that the Bengals offense cannot make up for it in that one.
Yeah. At times, I don't think the Giants defense is that bad, which is like, it's still not good. But like considering they have realistically not much offense, especially like Neighbors, Neighbors is like everything to them. They're like, that guy is like the next Barkley as far as how much they just are gonna use the living crap out of him. So yeah, if Bengals got to win this. I mean, if you drop the 1-5, I mean, in the AFC, you're not gonna say you're cooked, but you're close to being cooked already. So,
Agreed.
yeah, Burrow, just hopefully Burrow can stay upright. I mean, for goodness sakes, the guy has no time to throw. But yeah, give me the Bengals. Primetime game might be closer than people think, also, but I look for the Bengals to at least get a second win on the season here.
I like that one. I like that one there. Next up, we have the Monday night game. We have the Bills and the Jets. The Jets just fired Saleh. I think they're still a mess. Aaron Rodgers is now running. He's still running the team. He was before, and now he is again. I don't care what anybody says. This guy's been in charge the whole time. Give me the Bills to win that one at MetLife.
Yeah, that's gonna be super. Like how they look is gonna be interesting. Are they gonna come out fired up? Are they gonna come up like mundane a little bit? You just don't know. But I think Bills have struggled as of late, last 2 weeks with losses. They need to get back on track. I hope they bury the Jets just because of this whole Aaron Rodgers thing. So, go Bills, and I think the Bills find a way as well.
I agree. I agree with that one there. Aaron, anything else we got to wrap us up for the night here?
I will ask you this real quick: is it going to be Cleveland or is it going to be Detroit in the ALCS? And are they going to beat whoever it is? Are they going to beat the Yankees or the Yankees clear path to the World Series?
Yankees have had a clear path since the Astros lost because that's a team that knows how to beat them all the time. I'm going to take the Tigers. I think that train ain't done yet. I'm going to take the Tigers. And if they beat the Yankees, oh, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for that one there. Padres-Dodgers should be a good one. That game it's still going, I believe. I can't remember if that game's tomorrow or if that's tonight here. I can't remember. That game is, let's see, tonight. It's tonight here. 7:08 is the start for that one, so we'll see on that one. I'm hoping it's Padres. I'm hoping it's Padres and Mets, and then I'm hoping on the flip side of it that it's Tigers and Yankees because that would be some interesting series there. And then if the Mets and Tigers both make it, that would be storybook. That'd be storybook ending to seasons for both those franchises because the Mets were out of it, the Tigers were out of it. They both end up in the World Series. That'd be crazy.
One of them's got either the Tigers or the as much as I don't hate the Mets as much as you would think. I just don't.
Yep.
And I really don't want to see the Dodgers. And I'm not a big Padres guy either. So of the teams, I don't want the Mets to win it all, but I want the Mets to knock out anybody else. So if that makes sense.
I agree with you there. I agree with you on that one. We got Dustin. He was in the comments. He said that he is currently at Kaukauna and Kimberly there, the football game going. Hopefully a good one there. Kimberly, always a great football program. Kaukana's been on the uprise as of late here. And so, I mean, hopefully some good games. Hopefully some good games all around Wisconsin tonight there. So, for Aaron and myself, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys back here on across all these platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We'll catch you guys back here live on Sunday. And if you missed the show, you can always find us on every podcast platform out there next day. So with that, for Aaron and myself, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night and weekend. But until Sunday, see ya.